1, 2, 1, 2. Trying to make love like the lovers do. Seeing more of me and a lot of you. It all makes sense when it's just us two. I have to go somewhere in my sleep to see a world that favors girls like me. With you I escape reality, even for a moment if it's just in my dreams. This world's trying to get the best of me. Got to the point nothing satisfies me. I make this look easier than you think. Seeing me it's hard to believe, and that's why these days, yeah, I need more of less. Yeah, put it all to rest. Yeah, I gotta confess, I've been quite a mess. World's happening outside, but my baby and I will be just fine. Yeah, it'll be alright, just me and mine till the morning light.
You are now tuning into The Vibe with Your Boys podcast. Starring Kyle the Kid and Mega the Boy. You dig?
Yes, sir. It's your boy Kyle the Kid and Mega the Boy, and welcome to another episode of Vibe with Your Boys podcast. How you living? How you feeling, Mega?
Why it's so hot?
Might want to act like global warming or, like president or something like that.
It's so hot. Mm-hmm. Somebody would have to pay me to even think about coming outside. Unless it's work.
Okay. That's why you showed up?
Right now, yeah.
I respect it.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Yeah. This is the start.
If you already haven't noticed, we got the lovely Brina with us. How are you feeling? How are you doing today?
I'm good. It's just, again, a little hot, but I'm good.
How's your 2022 been going?
Oh, I think 2022 has been going pretty good. I feel like this year has been a lot of the lessons I've learned last year. Mm-hmm. I feel like this year has shown me, what to do in those situations that I've just experienced last year. And I feel like this is a year just to be a better person and do better and work harder, So
you learn from your mistakes?
Of course. I feel like, yeah, of course.
You don't have to keep going through the same old.
No, it's so funny because I feel like the Haitian in me, it's like when you're raised Haitian, it's kind of like do it well the first time. So I feel like, yeah, as long as, especially us being young, as long as you could just learn from your mistakes, you should be good. That's all it is.
Most definitely. Now, you just mentioned being Haitian. Were you born in Haiti or?
No. I was born here in Broward County.
Okay.
For sure.
So Broward County is home?
Yeah, for sure.
Recently, I did see that you were part of like a Haitian pageant.
Oh yeah, I
explain that.
Yeah, I did enter into this Haitian for this Haitian magazine. Okay. So yeah, I'm just trying to do more of that stuff and things just more related to my culture and stuff, especially with this project coming out titled Bonjour. It's just very a Kompa pop theme. So yeah, you probably seen me do more, things pertaining to that.
And I also did see that you recently visited there. Is that something you do often, or are you just trying to get into more of a habit of doing that?
So last year, my grandpa passed away, and I went to Haiti for his funeral, and I feel like that really got me connected with my culture and my heritage. Okay. I feel like we kind of take where we're from sometimes for granted, and it's until the older generation you start seeing them go on, you start thinking, okay, I have to keep this alive. I can't just, just because we're a part of the diaspora, just let it go away. You're like, no, I need to be more, just more connected with that. Gotcha. And not take it for granted and learn learn our history and, just stuff like that. And I feel like that definitely reignited my culture, my love for that, especially, especially with situations like that. You learn to appreciate things way more. And yeah, so I went to Haiti this year again, and it was on a vacation, and yeah, I had a great time. I had a great time. I went to the Citadel, went to the Sanssouci Palace. I did all of that, and that's very historical for Haiti. The Citadel was during, the revolution. It's just all of it.
You just felt that connection.
Of 100%. Once you go to the Citadel and Sanssouci Palace, all those places, you see where you're from very, very differently. It talks about just the revolution. How they won their independence from the French, all that stuff. It's just like a life-size history lesson for sure.
That's dope. Now, recently on an episode that we're going to be dropping soon, we were talking to somebody about, you know, Haitian culture and growing up Haitian. I'm Jamaican, Mega's Haitian. And how was that for you growing up Haitian in Broward County? You know, we talk about like the stigma that Haitians had when like we all were younger to like now. And now you're talking about the pride that you now have. So how has that transition for you, or have you always had that pride in being Haitian?
Yeah, I feel like growing up Haitian, I grew up around like basically being around Broward County, so a lot of like island people.
Yeah.
So I feel like now that the tide has kind of turned and it's cool to be Haitian, I feel like, yeah, although it was a bad thing that was the case in the past where it wasn't like cool to be Haitian, it's a good thing now because now we're accepted into different, you know, avenues, and you can see the representation more. And I feel like, yeah, it's just good that now Haitians have like a spotlight on them that's not as negative as before, you know? And I think that comes with education. And I feel like a lot of people just weren't educated before. And I feel like now with the exposure, more Haitians in the media and Haitians in, you know, just
pop culture.
Yeah,
everything.
pop culture. It's like people just can get more educated. I think it was like a lack of education thing for people.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
When people don't know, like they're just
Stay away.
Yeah, they're just like kind of just like ignorant on that. You know what I mean? It just But yeah, and I feel like being younger, it was just so different even in the media. I feel like even just being a dark-skinned woman, like we did not have the representation. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's still a struggle to this day, even though it's getting better.
Yeah, right? Like, so it's still, it's still a struggle to this day. And yeah, growing up, I didn't see myself represented in the media like that. I didn't even see myself represented, even in, honestly, even in little things, even when we were going down to like, because I was in musical theater when I was younger, and I was in musical theater and drama, especially in high school. And now, for example, Ariel, Belle, like let's say you're doing Beauty and the Beast, you're casting for The Little Mermaid, they could be any race, right? When I was in high school, no, she had to look a certain, you see what I'm saying? What a stark difference, like a big difference from then and now, where Little Mermaid can look anyway. Chloe Bailey's gonna be the Little Mermaid in the live action, you know? And it's just little things like that. So again, going back to like Haitian culture, it's good seeing us represented, so we have more opportunities and stuff. Gotcha.
Now, of course, I want to talk about some of your background and stuff, but I want to talk about how you said the new project that you're releasing would be like Haitian, I mean, Kompa and pop.
Yes.
I've heard some of your earlier music and it's R&B.
Yeah.
So what made you want to just do that?
Transition.
It was definitely that.
'Cause this would be your first project, right?
Right.
Okay, so coming out the bat with it.
Yeah, that's a good, really, really good question. You've been
Yeah.
So, okay, there are two things. So before my trip to Haiti, I feel like it was like before and after my trip to Haiti with my grandpa's funeral. And I feel like as soon as like I went to Haiti for my grandpa's funeral and I saw Haiti in a different life, that really inspired me. That was like a big moment where I'm just like, no, like this is what I want to do. I've always liked this type of music. Like, let me start like doing it, right? And then before also, I feel like I love music, right? So I love writing. I love going to the studio. I love music. And I feel like before I would just, when I put out like R&B records, it was kind of like, because that's what I was supposed to do. Being from Broward, being dark-skinned, being a woman, being a singer. It's like, okay, like
R&B.
You see what I'm saying? It's R&B. You get me? So I feel like it was more of that kind of. And until I found myself, especially in all that happened like last year with like my grandpa and stuff, I feel like, yeah, that's when I was like, okay, I found, like, I feel like how you move personally always reflects your music. And I feel like that personal growth represented like my change in genres for sure.
So if you would have went to the studio and started making R&B, it wouldn't have been reflective of how you actually feeling.
Exactly. It wouldn't. It wouldn't. It would just be to write music, to record music, because I love music, to sing, you know, like to perform. It would just be for that. But I feel like, and it was cool, but I feel like, again, the Kompa pop, that's definitely more me. And I had to find myself. I mean, we're still young. That happens. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Okay. And has the experience been fun making that type of music?
Oh, yes. Okay, so this is the most fun I've ever had with music by far. The most happiest I've been with my music, the most satisfied I've been with my music, the most pleased I've been with my music, for sure. Like, I worked on this project with my producer, Ruben Raymond, and this wasn't a project where he just sent me the beats and I wrote to them. We went to the studio, we picked out the drums, we picked out the bass line, we did the chord progression. Like, I'm very hands-on in my music. I play piano. So this was something we went through. Okay, these hi-hats sound like a little this. Okay, let's put some, it was just very much like that. And I'm very involved in like the production side of my music. So yeah, this was very fun. This was amazing.
All right. Now, going back now, being that you're Haitian and everything, we were talking about the other day, a lot of like Haitian parents, have like it mapped out for their kids of like what they want them to pursue and things like that. But clearly you're pursuing music.
Right.
So how was that for you, and do you have that support?
Oh, that's a good question as well. I feel like, do I have that support? I feel like,
I mean, of course, I'm pretty sure they know you're talented.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But, as far as like, you don't want to do this or do that, or,
I feel like this is an interesting question. How do I answer this? Haitian parents are just very different.
Yeah,
that's how I should start this off. They're very, very different. And I think like...
His mom don't even know what he do.
Yeah, that's why I said it's interesting,
I knew exactly what you were going through. It's like,
Haitian
my mom
parents,
either.
Haitian parents are very much like... Yes, it's such a hard question.
They want to support. They will support, but you have to show them. I don't think they'll just jump behind
it's
something.
Support.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Conditional support for sure. And it's also like, I don't know how to explain that. Haitian parents will support you in the best way they know how. That's for sure, probably.
And they're gonna throw it a little hints. You sure you want to become a nurse?
Exactly. It's like that. But again, I believe like everybody has their life. Trust me. I don't tell anybody what to do. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's so funny in life because people will tell you what to do right after they've done what they want to do, right? People sit here and micromanage you and tell you, oh, blah, blah, blah. But when it's them, again, if there's one lesson I learned last year, is people are going to do what they want to do, okay? People are very selfish in the way, so they'll do what they want to do, but then when you want to do what you want to do, now they got all these you shouldn't be, like now they have all these critiques, but I've realized what people will do what's best for them in the moment, and I feel like as young adults, we should always put ourselves first and do what's best for us. Because trust me, you might be looking at other people, but they're doing what's best for them. So as long as you're happy and doing what you want to do, you have no regrets, and you're doing what like our parents, they done had kids. They live their life. Apparently, you know what I mean? Like everybody's living their life. So it's like I'm just gonna do what I want to do, basically. Do what makes me happy.
Putting your foot down.
Right, exactly. And I feel like that autonomy is very important, and I feel like sometimes as island kids we weren't raised with that, but no, that's very important, like to live life on your terms and have like control over what you want to do. That's very important.
Most definitely. Now, when did you start getting into music? Because you said you played the piano, so was that piano first and singing came, or how was that?
I've always been singing since I was younger. I've always done like theater and musical theater like throughout like middle school and high school. I started playing piano when I was pretty young. I've done music like for like the majority of my life. It's up until recently I started to just like get in it, because before, I'm not gonna lie, the reason why I just didn't go 100% into music was because I had a lot of doubt. I had a lot of doubt in myself. I had a lot of self-doubt, and I feel like I credit music to my personal growth, because there were a lot of things I would not have done or breaking out of had
it comes with confidence. It's certain confidence
you have to, like for music, even just to meet up with people, to go to sessions, to do this, to network, you have to break out of that. And I feel like had I not have done music, I would have never gotten the opportunity to grow in that way. So I do credit that. But before, it was definitely just doubt why I wasn't like 100%, into it. It was the doubt. But then as soon as I broke out of that, I was like, no, I'm gonna start doing this like full on. Like, I don't know.
Got you. Do you remember the first song you recorded?
Yeah, the first song I recorded and put out was called One Day. It was like a pop song, kind of like it was really good. I should actually send that to you. It was really good. It was like very like, it was like pop. It was kind of like a moody pop vibe. It was really cool.
Who are you listening to? Like, who are you, like, on the way here? Like, who are you listening to in the car if you're listening to music?
I listen to a lot of island music, so I was listening. Okay. I was listening to my project. I'm not gonna lie. I was listening to my project. I was listening to Aya. I listen to a lot of pop too.
Okay.
So I listen to a lot of Ariana. Like people wouldn't know. I listen to a lot of pop music. Ariana, Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran. Why did I say it like that? Ariana, Ed Sheeran. Like Island. So yeah, I listen to just like a lot of music like that. So like a mix between like island music and then like pop, like stock pop for sure. Because I feel like pop is where you get the sounds you need for like current music, if that makes sense, when you're creating it.
Who did you grow up listening to?
Pop.
Straight
like,
pop?
Yeah, because I was raised really conservative. So
Okay.
it was like kind of clean pop, you know what I mean?
Okay, so you could play music, but better not hear no cursing. type
Yeah,
thing.
like no cursing type of music. And I feel like that's what influenced like my sound for sure. It's very, very pop. I feel like my sounds, I put like very pop sounds in them.
Okay, now with some of your earlier stuff like Mood or Things Change, that's like R&B. So do you like doing R&B? Like, do you enjoy it?
I do like doing R&B, but I feel like...
Or is it for only when you're like sad or something like that?
I like doing R&B, but I feel like the subject matter that's usually in R&B doesn't reflect my life, if that makes sense. Because I don't have those problems.
Hold on now.
Wait, hold on. No, I got to, what you mean?
Like,
I feel like, for example, R&B...
You don't get heartbroken or nothing like that.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm not, like... I don't have boy drama. I don't.
Never had it.
Like, I do, but it's not to the point
to where I
I'm
got to make a song about it.
Exactly. And that's just my life personally.
Y'all don't mean nothing?
What do you mean?
I'm just saying.
What do you mean, though?
They're not doing their job right. If they're doing their job, you go to the studio, make a good song.
Yeah, I feel like I don't have certain interactions. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have certain interactions that would drive... trust me, I do have certain interactions, but not enough for I feel like in the R&B genre. Trust me, I do, but not enough like that. Like I've never been heartbroken, like stuff like that. So, like that's how. Yeah.
I mean, that's good.
I'm
not saying I want you to be heartbroken. I'm just saying
I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I don't have like this boy drama, like this crazy thing. Like I don't have that. Like my life is like very like just kind of like simple.
Yeah,
I'm very simple. Like I think that's something that people are like shocked to know about me. But like I'm very like have a simple, laid back, like insulated kind of private life, kind of like just away from like the mix. And I feel like that's something people are shocked about, but not enough to rent a studio, make a record about it. No.
Got you. Okay, well in that case then a song like More of Less, what do you need more of like less, like
I wrote
where does that come from?
Yeah, I wrote that because of all this stuff that's going on. Like these days I need more of less. Like I feel like people don't realize how much, especially with social media, our society, it's a lot going on. It's a whole lot. Like this is kind of like a circus. And it's like sometimes, again, going back to like the life that I live that's like, I feel like I would say is very like private and like I'm a reserved person. It's like, I don't want all this. Like I need a lot less. Like I need a lot less of the drama, the chaos, the problems. Like I like to live like a very like simple, reserved life. And yeah, that's where More of Less came from for sure. Okay.
So not necessarily more of less in your life, but more of less of what's around. Like,
right.
Gotcha.
What's around, what's going on. Like, I'm somebody, trust me, who I see, I'm like, okay, gotta, like, I'm the walk away queen. Like, I gotta, like, I don't know, it's too much. I don't like things like OD. Like, I'm very, like, simple and just, like, like,
okay,
private,
Okay. Now, as far as the project, how many songs?
It's five.
Five
records, yeah.
Okay. And as well, now, is this a style that you can see yourself sticking with, or will you kind of like alternate, or are we going
my style?
Okay.
I'm gonna send you guys the project so you can listen to it beforehand, and it's so unique. I feel like there's nothing that sounds like this project. This is me. This is me picking the drums, me picking the bass line, me picking the chords. This is me. Like I feel like I am an expert at this genre, which is my genre. Like I really feel like Kompa. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. This is me. Like, I feel like, I like that. Yeah, for sure. This is me.
Was Kompa like real big for you, like growing up, or is it something that you got into eventually?
It was big, but again, I was raised really conservative, so I wasn't like listening to the popular Kompa. I was like Kompa, like Christian. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of like, I guess like the Kompa in church and stuff, like with like the same beat in the back, but obviously different subject matter for sure. So that for like I grew up with that, but no, not necessarily like the popular Kompa like people listen to. Yeah.
Okay. Now, in terms of, are you writing a lot, or more so in the studio? Like, how often?
So I go to the studio a lot. I meet up with my producer on average, probably like I'll say on average once a week for sure. And it's like I go to the studio pretty often, even if it's just to like work on beats, put down a melody, stuff like that. Yeah, just to stay on top of it, you know.
Creatively, what inspires you? Like sometimes you need to like get away, stay to yourself, or I see, you know, sometimes you like to like go to the beach and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like
everybody always says that.
yeah,
like,
like
at the beach.
like every day.
Yeah, everybody says that.
So
yeah.
like, what inspires you creatively?
That's a good question. I would say the situations in my life. So I like to keep. I feel like music is very, for lack of a better word, I guess vibrational. Like the music you're creating, and I feel like depending on the experience experiences I'm having, I feel like the better experiences that I'm having, the more I can create. But like it's really comparable to what I'm going through in like my actual life. So if I'm having like a really good season of my life and I'm like, you know, meeting different people and meeting people like that I feel like that are like me and that stuff, I feel like that helps me create the quality music that I want.
Your music reflects what you're going through.
Yes, exactly. And it's more, I feel like the reflection is based on the quality of interactions I'm having. That's why I'm very like, I would say I'm like private and insulated because I like to have quality like interactions, if that makes sense. I don't like to have low budget interactions.
People just wanting to come talk to you.
No, I do like people, but like the content.
Yeah,
of, like,
yeah,
the
exactly.
interactions, if that makes sense. Like I love talking to different people. I'll talk to anybody, but I don't like having like low budget like situations with people. I don't. I feel like I hate that. Like
if you walk away and you didn't learn anything, you feel like it's so pointless. Yeah,
and it's like I don't like situations that are just like anything spirited and like just like I don't know people's like I like to have like happy positive like interactions.
Like
I like
conspiracy theories don't move you.
No, I'm a very like deep thinker.
I think it's like one of those things to where people come to either, you know,
interrupt. Okay,
yeah.
distractions. Like interrupt what you have going on or distractions where it's people adding to you. You get what I mean? Like even if it could be the small situation and I could walk away like, oh, that person added to like it doesn't have to be it could be anything in the person added, but I don't like okay, especially as being in music, everything's like very like what's the play, like what's this, or like very like oh I'm trying to get to you to get at somebody else, or oh like what you want, or like you know stuff like that. I don't like that. Like I'm just like okay that's boring. Like I don't know. I just want to be able to talk to someone regularly without like a plan or a play or oh I'm trying to get this or I'm trying to slide back here or I'm trying to know. Like I don't like that. Like you know I know that's part of the game and part of the industry, but I'm not gonna voluntarily like be around people like that. If that makes sense.
Gotcha. Now, you mentioned something a while ago and said that you've never been heartbroken.
Right.
So that means you're the heartbreaker?
No. I just feel like, I've just never been heartbroken.
Yeah. You've never been like.
No, I don't think. No, I've never broken anybody's
You don't think
heart.
like they hearts break?
No, I don't think so.
Brina, can I ask you a question?
What?
Has your parents allowed you to date?
What do you mean? Okay, that's a good question. I feel like I was raised very conservatively, and I date now. Yeah, I date now, but it's like I'm a very picky person. I think that's what I am. I'm a very picky person, and I feel like, I'm a very picky person. So, and I do walk away from things probably prematurely. I don't know if that's a
I was listening to Things Change, and I'm like, damn, this kind of like a cold song. Like,
I could again. That's like my writing. Like I feel like that would be like my writing talent because you could tell me a story and I could write a song about it. You get me? I get inspired by other people's. Like I could write. You get me? But as far as like personally, like what's happened, I do walk away from it. That's a good way. I feel like you know what I'm talking about. I do walk away from things very prematurely. Like I feel like kind of when you're Haitian, you're kind of raised like that, kind of to do everything right the first time, you know? And I feel like you can kind of see things and be like, I don't know, there's like a sort of like kind of cynicalness you're raised with, like with being Haitian. And I feel like, that's off.
Always watching your back a little bit.
I feel like growing up Haitian, you definitely like watch your back, or you're very hyper aware of things that most people wouldn't be aware of. If that makes sense.
I agree 100%.
You feel what I'm saying? Like everybody else could be like, I have friends that are like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna XYZ, and I'm looking like that's weird. Like you don't think that that thing was off and this was off and that was off and that doesn't make sense. Like, I feel like I have that. Yeah.
Cause I say the same thing. I say,
Yeah.
I think I'm a pretty good judge of character.
Me too.
So it's
feel
like,
that's
I don't
the
really
Haitian.
associate with a lot of people because I'm like,
Right.
something off about it. And I'm usually right.
Right.
For the most part. So yeah.
I promise you that's
Yeah.
like, and it's funny, my producer's Haitian, we talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
That's like, I swear, the Haitian gene. Like,
Yeah.
you can kind of peep things early.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, that's weird. Like, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to stick to myself.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
know a lot of Haitians, even in our young adulthood, who are very much more like pulled back
Yeah,
and
yeah.
conservative because that's how we were
Mhm.
raised.
Yeah.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying.
Right.
So I feel like, again, going back to the heartbroken thing and relationship thing, I walk away very prematurely. Everybody knows I feel like I'm the queen at walking away.
Now, does that backfire anytime? Like, because when you walk away from a situation prematurely,
I feel like it can, as far as it can, but I feel like there are more bad things out here than good as far as interactions, like relationship wise. So I feel like you do save yourself a lot of bad interactions for sure. Like my dad, it's so funny because my dad he raised me with he always used to say there's certain things you don't have to go through. He always said that. It's like the same. He said there's certain things you don't have to go through. And I feel like that's always been kind of my motto in life. Like, I don't have to learn this lesson by going through it. I can learn this lesson by being wise and having the foresight. A lot of people, they got to be in the trenches to be like, dang, I shouldn't have done that. Me, I could see that and be like, I don't want to end up that, or I don't want to do that. Let me step away or walk away. I don't want to do that. You could, or end up that way.
A lot of people say that, oh, you don't understand because you've never been through it. Mm-hmm. And there's some truth to it. But I also feel like I can learn just like watching you. Like, it's a lot of people that feel like, oh, you don't, have this. Or,
you don't have that.
In certain situations, okay, like, you feel me?
Right.
But, like, I can tell that doesn't look right.
People, I feel like that kind of thinking, yes, that is true. I feel like it's both sides are true, but I feel like people weaponize that type of thinking. Yeah. So they kind of do that to make an excuse for why
their
exactly.
Actions.
So people be like, oh, well, things happen, but, and it's like, shorty, you're tripping. You feel me? Or like, you tripping. You get what I'm saying? But people definitely weaponize that type of thinking. It's like, oh, you wouldn't know unless you're in love. And it's like, nah. You shouldn't have done that to shorty. Like, that was pretty messed up. It's like, nah. So I'm not really that bought when people say stuff like that. I'm like, I get both sides 50%. Like, I understand them equally, but I'm not like, okay, sure. You know what I mean? Like, I'm that type of person.
So are you, how we were just speaking, are you that like blunt when it comes to like friends or people coming to you for advice, or are you?
That's a good question. I let people do what they want to do. I feel like the best advice you can give someone is being who you are, if that makes sense. Because if I know who you are and I come to you with a problem, I already know what you're going to say.
Oh, yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
If I'm who I am all the time, you already know what advice I'm going to give you. You already know when you're coming to Brina what she's going to say. You already know, oh, I'm messing with this guy, blah, blah, blah. Oh, let me ask. You know what I'm going to say. You get me? But I am a firm believer in letting people do what they want. Everybody's allowed to do what they want. I'm going to say it. I'll say it. If it's a close friend of mine, I'll give my opinion, but not enough to let them do what they want to do. But like give them that sort of, space to do what they want to do, but I'll still make it known how I feel for sure. And I feel like just even me being me, they know how I'm gonna feel. You know what I mean? It's like asking your parents for advice if you do. You know what they're gonna say because they're who they are all the time. You've been the same person since I was what age. I know what you're gonna say. So I feel like,
Are you one of those people like, okay, I've told you what I thought, and then they come back with the same problem? Like, hold up.
You know, it's funny. When I was younger, people would come back to me with the same problem. Now that we're older, people don't come back to you with the same problem. I feel like it's like more embarrassing the older we get.
Okay.
You get what I mean? I feel like it's just like
you still didn't learn?
And it's kind of like it's kind of just like embarrassing. Like I feel like the older we get, like, do your friends come with you with the same problem over?
No, I don't allow it.
Exactly. But you see, we're like Haitian strict. I don't like to. In the way we're raised, like I'm telling you, Haitians, it's like you do things right the first time. You
at least attempt to.
That's what I'm saying. You attempt to do. You don't have the same like over and over. It's like no, you do. You learn from it, move on. Like, it's like very much like that. It's very like militant in that way. So I don't even, that's basically how it is. Yeah. It's like tough love kind of. It's a very, like, even how I feel like we're raised and how we treat our friends is kind of probably tough love in a sense. But
that's how the elders did it. Yeah.
Because I know I'm a kind of tough love person, but it's honestly because I don't want to see you feeling that way.
Yeah.
It's coming from, again, like tough love. It's coming from, I don't want to see anybody I love
go through that.
looking crazy over a nigga.
Yeah.
I don't want that. Like, who wants to see their friend looking crazy over a nigga or heartbroken over a nigga or blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, like nobody wants to see that. So it's kind of a positive peer pressure going on to like, let's do better, you know?
That's right.
Okay. Now, before we wrap things up, I do want to ask though, because it seems like a lot of the stuff you've learned is like be very disciplined. Like you keep stressing, like, you know, learn to do things right the first time. Where I don't have to go through certain things. Does there come a point in time where you're gonna meet someone, whoever, and be like, I just can't.
I can't step away from this yet.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like, okay, you know, maybe Jeff did something a couple years ago that as soon as he did it, you're like, yeah, I gotta go. But then, you know, Kevin come and does the same thing, and you like, don't do that. But I'm
no, but again, I'm not like this cold hearted. Even with friends, like nobody's perfect. That's another thing. Like I think when we mention discipline or getting things right the first time, you think like it's just like, oh, I'm gonna cut you up. I make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes before, and I have to be like, dang, you know what? Let me learn from this. Let me go to therapy about it. Let me do this. Let me that. Everybody, that's the journey. You know, even when I was talking about last year, like going to my grandpa's funeral, like of course we all learn. But I think everything is dependent on like the character of the person. Like it's easy to work things out with, even with friends or relationships, when you like who the person is. You get me? I'm very much of a. I like to know. I can deal with anybody. I can even friends, whatever, anybody if I know who you are. And I feel like that's kind of the issue we face as a society now. Like people are kind of like not who they are, if that makes sense, or kind of put on, you know. And I could deal with anything once I know who you are. And I feel like once you've given me that transparency, you've given me enough that I'm like, you let me, you know what I mean? Like you've been transparent with me. So yeah, I will work that out with anybody who's like transparent. If that makes sense.
It comes down to transparency.
And who's honest, of course. Like I feel like I kind of go. It's funny because I was telling my homegirl this the other day. I was like, even with dating, I see dating in a different way. I go by with dating like I want to see who you are first, and then the rest can come after. If that makes sense. So a lot of girls will be more flattered by, okay, I don't know if this is just me, okay, and this is not like okay. I'd rather. Because, okay, me, I know I'm a picky person with guys. I know, and it's not picky in the sense where, oh, you got to have this. It's more on character. Like, I know how I want my family to be raised. That's a Haitian, my family to be raised. I know I want how the father of my child to be. I know how I want my life to be. I know how I want my home life to be, right? So I want to see if you're the type of guy who's who's in that kind of category rather than the other fluff, love bombing stuff. If that makes sense. Okay. Like I need to know who you are value-wise and character-wise, and then we can kind of work on the other stuff. Rather than a lot of people are like, I want the other stuff wise, then I get to know the character. No, show me who you are. I'll ask the nigga first, oh, your parents married? Like, oh, like why? Like I'll ask them the hard questions first. So it's like, is this kind of like, not in this, are your parents married in a judgmental wise, but in a background wise.
Just to get,
like, are your parents married? How are your siblings? Like, are you
because it could be a guy whose parents never got married, and he may not be like really care about marriage like that.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not judging anybody. I don't want to say like, oh no,
wait a minute.
No, and it's
was that a shot?
No.
I don't want to make it seem like, oh, I'm like, oh, are your parents married? Is that going to be that has nothing to do with it.
That's why I explained it. It could show the viewpoint. Background.
Like nothing about. Actually, let's not put the marriage because I don't want to sound judgmental. It just meant like how you were raised.
No, you can put it. It's
right,
okay.
and like again, like even with guys, are you going to therapy? I feel like
you go to therapy.
100%, I go to therapy. I feel like therapy is so important.
What if I don't need therapy?
You don't need therapy. Everybody needs therapy.
Okay, I wouldn't say I don't need it.
Right.
I wouldn't say I don't need it.
Everybody needs therapy, especially coming up from us being in the being our community, being Black, being island. We need.
Okay, what if I don't go to therapy though?
No, I feel like not necessarily you have to go, but like I need to see somebody who's willing to better themselves. Exactly.
Okay.
And on some real tip, not on some fruit, fluff shit. Like on some real stuff. Like, oh, like what type of person are you? You know? Like, yeah. I'd rather be willing to date someone who's imperfect, but I know who they are, rather than someone who tells me the right thing and love bombs me.
Do the opposite.
I don't know if it's Haitian. I don't know. Do we not like the blowing smoke thing? I don't do.
I mean, it
well
depends.
with-
It depends. I mean, it
I don't
depends
do
because
well with the blowing smoke
because-
and the love bombing. I don't like that at all.
It's-
I don't like
it's
that.
some people, right? Well, not some people, especially with like, I'm gonna just stick to like Haitian culture, even though I'm Jamaican.
Right.
From what I see, like Mega always goes and says like, Haitians, like people say like Haitian guys are lover boys.
Yeah.
Or whatever,
okay.
and he's not subscribed to that way
Yeah,
of
yeah.
thinking because a lot of women, you know, they're like, oh, Haitian men, they're so loving,
Right.
and then Mega's like, bro, they're
Yeah,
cheating,
that's
like
their families. But it
yeah,
depends on,
and that's
you
the
know,
love bombing aspect you're talking about.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in like the talk and the
And
this.
the-
No. Who are you?
Yeah.
Like I'm really big on. Let's skip. It's funny because I have a record on my project like that. It's actually called the record's called Kompa Guy, and it talks about like the dating process and like you see a guy. Let's cut to the chase. Like I really don't. When I tell you in my like, I don't care about the love bombing. What you say. What are you going to do? Who are you? Even with friends. You could say you're loyal. You could say you're this.
Show me.
Show
Yeah.
me. And I'm really big on the show me.
Mhm.
Show me. I don't care what you even okay, it's cool. Obviously, we want guys to buy us stuff. I'm not, trust me, I'm nowhere near the oh no. Men are very problematic. Trust. They're the problem but that's another episode. But I don't care about I don't want to say I care about gifts. I do care about
But
the
it's-
guy can
yeah.
provide. But I care about
It's
long
secondary.
term. I don't care about what you're saying to me now and what this and what sounds good. I don't care. Are you gonna be around in 7.5 months? Are you gonna be around long enough? You know what I'm
You
saying?
know what,
Like-
Mega? I kind of like her.
You want to get married?
Yeah, no.
You want to get married?
No, but it's true. I don't care about, and I guess like that's coming from like our background.
Yeah.
I don't care about what you have to say. I care about what people do.
Were you asking if she wants to get married?
You want to get married?
Oh, well, do I want to get?
Yeah.
Of course, I want to be married. 100%. I want to be married. I want to have a family. I don't care what everybody else got going on. I really don't care what people are saying. I want to be married. I want to have a family. I want my kids to grow up in a healthy, protected, loving environment. I believe every generation should try to do better than the previous generation. It's either in life you do better or you fold. What you gonna do? Are you gonna do better than your parents, or are we gonna do the same thing because we comfortable? You know what I mean? So it's like, but I'm all for bettering the culture, moving the culture forward. Whether it's Haitian culture, whether it's Black culture, to do better and be better for sure.
Most definitely. Now, before we get out of here, let them know what they can expect from Brina moving forward, and you know where they can find you at, and if you have a release time frame for your music, let them know as well.
So for my project, it is going to come out because I wanted it to. I'm gonna have a project release party, an EP release party, and that would have to be early October. So I'm gonna move the date literally like a week and a half later, just so everything's consecutive. So I drop the project and have the parties, and you know. So yes, that will be in early October. So my project is titled Bonjour. It's a Kompa project. This is new sounds, driving the Haitian culture forward, reinventing, you know, the sounds, you know, making it in the interpretation of me as an artist. And yes, and just very positive vibes, very moving forward vibes, very high vibes, high quality. But I'm just all for a high quality experience in every aspect of my life. And this is what that project is going to be for sure. Most definitely. Let them know where they can find you on Instagram or find music. My IG is at It's Brina Baby, at ITSBRINABABY, and there I have my link tree and everything to the social media platforms, and I have my Instagram, and TikTok is the same except with an extra Y, and yes. That's it. Most definitely. Well, Brina, thank you very much for coming through. It was a dope conversation. Pleasure having you. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. It's Kyle the Kid, Mega the Boy, Brina, and we're out.
You did.
Yes, sir.